Right. You can introduce us.
My name's Ben. This is Aaron. I'm going to do a podcast about the news.
Something more lively.
Lively.
Something what will engage the listener. Talk about our surroundings. What do you see around us?
A romantic setup of a chair and a table and another chair.
Funny you say that. I actually did use this to try and impress a girl. This exact table. I decked my room out a bit like a French cafe. And I used this table to brackets, cook a meal, order a pizza. And it didn't go very well. It kind of proved to me, I got coffee dripping all over me, that romance may be dead after all. Well, anyway, can I just say, my name is Aron Thompson. I am a quotation filmmaker. I'm joined by Ben Galvin, who is a quotation Domino's Pizza employee / special effect enthusiast, hoping to go into the industry. How's your coffee, Ben?
Coffee's nice. It's
Ben's enjoying his
hot.
coffee. We've both got ourselves a coffee, so we can get through the news. I have two newspapers here.
Both of them.
One-
I've heard of the first one.
One is, we'll say posh. It's
Posh.
It's what posh people read. The other is just full of nonsense. So, the news. I don't know if you agree with me. Ben's leaning over to have a look at the content in my hands. I don't know if you agree with me, Ben, but the news is boring.
It's better on TV. Don't like papers falling apart.
I think it's worse on TV.
Well, they like to dramatise a lot, don't they?
I don't even watch TV anymore, to be fair. What's my placemat gone? So, shall we get on with it?
Let's get on with it.
Ben's clearly just woken up. His mind's wearing. He's
Drinking coffee. I might nod off with this.
He's not ready for what I've brought to him. Because you didn't know you was doing this, did you?
No.
I just sort of he thought he was coming around to do some filming. I sort of just sprung this upon him. Right.
My day just went from brilliant to okay.
Then you can see I've been at work. Right, I'm just going to read some headlines to you. And we'll just discuss the topics. Now this is yesterday's news. Look at that. I've managed to pick the placeholder up with the cup. Okay. There's nought so British as Yorkshire folk. DNA map of nation reveals. So this is basically a headline which is stating there's nothing wrong with being Yorkshire. The article actually starts with, let me read this to you. Yorkshire folk, with their reputation for being a bit dour and speaking plainly. That's how it.
Speaking plainly.
Speaking plainly. This is how the article starts. Okay. Then it goes on to how Jessica Ennis, Dame Judi Dench, and Clarkson have all shaped England, and they all come from Yorkshire.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Jeremy Clarkson comes from Doncaster. Tickle.
It doesn't sound like he's from Doncaster.
Can we just say me and Ben are both from Doncaster?
Well, I'm not.
Ben's not
I
originally
live
from
in Doncaster, but I'm
You
not
live in
originally
Doncaster,
from
then?
Yeah, I live in Doncaster.
Where are you from originally?
Born in Luton.
What's in Luton?
Luton? Please tell me where you know where Luton
I know
is.
Luton is, but there's nothing in Luton.
Well, there is if you're a gang member.
Was you part of a gang when you was younger?
Probably. The age of 2. Best drug lord in the area.
A kingpin.
There's not in Luton really. Just a normal city, bit rough. I think very rough actually. After Luton I went to Yorkshire. Then I went to Shropshire. Then I went back to Yorkshire. Then I moved from one bit of Yorkshire to the other Yorkshire, and that's where I'm here, in South Yorkshire.
So, what would you say is rougher? Doncaster or Luton.
Definitely Luton.
But Doncaster's getting a really bad reputation now,
Just-
isn't it?
Doncaster's rough, but just
But-
abandoned.
But there's rough places anywhere you go, really, isn't there?
Yeah, but you'd think it'd only be one area. Luton's all of it. Unless you're right on the outskirts. And then Doncaster is...
So was you on the outskirts of Luton?
If you're on the very outskirts, like I mean the very edge, it's all right.
Did you have like a little corner shop?
I was
You're too young to remember.
5,
Oh, okay.
younger than that. I was born in Luton and sort of ran there
'Cause-
for about a year or two.
Just for the viewers, we live in a little village, and the closest shop,
Would you call this a village?
what do you call it?
Settlement of a few houses. It's not even a village.
Fair enough, you have a point. We live in a settlement of small houses, and our closest shop would be Cash and Carry,
Class that as a shop.
which, well, it sells product.
Yeah, but I think some of the products in the cash and carry are a bit outdated.
You
So I don't
don't
know if
say.
they're classed as
Even
products anymore.
even
More like
the
garbage.
I went in to get some bin bags the other day. Even the bin bags are outdated. I'm serious. The cardboard on it was like rotting.
Oh, really?
So they've probably been in storage for about 5 years.
Seriously, you go there to cash and carry, you go pick up a Coca-Cola, it's healthier than water. Because it's that old.
It's just diluted
It's just
now.
brown water. There's no fizz of them at all.
Anyway, off topic, back to this. So, this article is basically saying there's nothing wrong with being Yorkshire. Would you agree with that? And according to this DNA survey, where we live, the Anglo-Saxons, we have 41.7% heritage. So that basically means 41% of, Yorkshire's DNA is made up from our ancestors. So we're basically got the
How-
most. Not only have we got the most British place.
Are they trying? I don't understand. Are they trying to identify as Yorkshire through DNA, or they use the Yorkshire DNA
senior's got
to
the-
identify DNA?
The thing has got like the most English roots, and it's obviously Yorkshire people, but they're also saying there's nothing wrong with that either, because of Jeremy Clarkson, blah blah blah.
Well, of course, it's going to be mainly Yorkshire people because Yorkshire's a bigger area of England, isn't it? That's the main.
True.
It's obviously going to be Yorkshire.
And we have a little article here. The ice bucket craze funds gene discovery, so it's nice to see it's actually doing something and not just a trend. And this made me smile. Okay, what are newspapers full of?
Bullshit.
Apart from that, cats dying. You cannot go through a newspaper and read a story about a cat being thrown in a
Missing
lake,
or
a cat being put in a washing machine.
the entire Yorkshire Fire Brigade trying to save one pussy who's stuck on a branch.
Ben, you made it smutty now.
What do you mean I made it smutty?
You
That's
said the
what
P
that's
word.
what I've read before.
Yeah, they do use words like that, don't they, to try and hook the audience. So yeah, cat lucky to be alive after spinning washing machine. It's always
I
washing
heard
machines.
about that. That was quite amusing.
I don't know the story, but it just amuses me how every time I pick a paper up, which is very, very rare, me and newspapers don't get along. We sort of just stare at each other in shops.
No, I always have a fight with a newspaper trying to get to page 2.
I just don't have the.
I always end up on page 45 while it's on the floor.
I just get to page 3 in the Daily Star and then miss the rest out. But yeah, me and newspapers don't get on. There's too much context for my small mind. Right, moving on.
Is that the White House?
It is the White House. Right, this is a story which I would say it's not very interesting because it's kind of nothing, but it kind of amused me. Okay, an MP has been rebunked for giving her daughter a seat in Parliament. So basically, she brought I believe she was 2. Yeah, Rebecca, who was 2, to the table after she had fallen asleep. So basically, an MP has brought her daughter into the House of Parliament. What do you think of that? It's been rebunked for it.
Take your kids to work day?
Exactly. I find it cute and funny, but obviously, maybe
So
in the
she's had
House.
to give him a seat, like, as in permanent seat, or what? Or
If
just a
you-
seat for the day?
If you were to bring your brother, who's 11,
12.
12, into Domino's Pizza,
Well,
Would
the
your
first thing I wouldn't be allowed.
But let's just say there's nothing else you could do with him. Your parents are away. You had to bring him to work. Would your boss understand?
Still wouldn't be allowed.
So we'd have to hang about outside.
You'd have to sit in the outside, but yeah.
Fair enough. But like that's as far as it goes. But with this, I get it's in the House of Parliament, but to me, it's not that bad. It's kind of showing.
Well, she can do that. She has the authority in a way.
Well,
Because
it's
she's
kind
a
of-
lot higher up than the simple employer at Domino's.
Well, it's not just that. It's just kind of showing like a sincere side of our country, isn't it? Like letting a kid be in a house party. It's not going to happen. Well,
It depends the way you look at it. You could look at it in the way that it's kind of cute. Bring your kid to work day, show around the business. That's it. Or you could look at it the way of if they're going to allow kids in the parliament, there's not much authority going on. What the hell's happening to the country? You know what I
Agreed.
mean?
so I thought it was a nice little story, and I hope the person, I believe, Christy Blackman, does. Yeah, me and Ben are shaking our head. I hope she doesn't get in too much trouble for that. Okay, this relates to me, so
Is that cheerleaders? How's that relate to you?
that's the
Is this where you reveal a
Ben's trying
secret
to-
hobby of yours?
what cheerleading. I used to be a cheerleader. No, seriously, I did a bit of cheerleading. I think.
I do cheerleading when I get chased by a wasp.
You did some cheerleading. Oh. I think it was year 7. I think I joined the cheerleader brigade because I was into dancing back then. Ben's looking at me like,
Ballet.
not ballet, like street dancing.
Street dance.
I
My
thought-
brother used to do street dance.
I
Can't do
remember,
it anymore because of his hip.
I was a big fan of Step Up, and you know, I thought I could reinvent myself and become a dancer. Anyway, this is related to me, but it says Edinburgh is the coolest city for students, and Ben.
Oh,
Go on.
you said that wrong.
What?
It's not the coolest city for students. It's the most expensive city for students.
Well, according to this, not.
So
According
the
to this,
newspaper's got that wrong because I saw that recently.
according to this, let me read.
Most expensive places, expensive place for students is Edinburgh.
Yes, you're right. It's the most expensive city for students, but also the coolest city for students.
Probably
And-
is to be fair.
And you know, I just got back from a trip there. I'd definitely say it's one of the coolest cities I've ever been to. But at the same time, it is pretty expensive. But I didn't do any drinking. I went there. Ben's looking at me like, yeah, right.
I don't believe a word of that.
I drank at the hotel. I bought some.
So you did do some drinking then?
I got drunk one night at the hotel. I bought a nice bottle of rosé.
That's a bit contradictory.
I mean, I didn't do any drinking out on the town. 'Cause my friend, well, me and my friend aren't really into drinking, we're more into culture. So we went to a few cinemas. Ben's taking his coat off. Chat amongst yourself, viewers.
It's getting a bit wham.
It's why I'm sat in shorts and a t-shirt. It's really warm in this room.
You've just got up.
And I just got up literally 20 minutes ago. So I'm still finding my voice.
Creased shirt. Oh. Right, I'm back.
Right. So yeah, as I was saying, go to Edinburgh, really cool city. But I don't agree with this article just because me and my friend, for 3 nights, 120 quid for a Premier Inn. But a split between us, like 65 quid each. No, 60 quid each even.
Really, £125 for 3 nights? Not actually bad, that.
We stayed in not the most luscious. That sound is Ben trying to adjust his chair. We are sat in the most makeshift chairs. This chair can't even take my weight. I can feel it about to give way.
Yeah, I think this back's going to drop.
And the chair you're sat on literally sits you vertical. But yeah, I would have to disagree because I think if you're smart about how you do things, I think if you do go to drink, yeah, you're probably looking at paying expensive prices because it's a city. What do you expect? But if you just live on supermarket food, what's funny now?
I just feel like I'm just gonna go.
That'd be hilarious. I'm still talking.
Like some
Your legs are in the air.
Sorry.
Why you down there? Go get me a coffee.
I'd like to go to Edinburgh, but it does sound a bit.
It's a really nice city because it's all sort of built on top of each other. It's like a maze. Like you always end up. Say if you just go down that alley, 5 minutes later you're gonna end up probably at the same place again. Because it's all sort of built up on top of each other, all sort of layered. And it's a really cool city. Sorry?
It's on a hillside.
Yeah. And there's some really cool hiking, and I really recommend it. I could talk about my trip there for a good 2-3 hours, but we're not going to. We're going to move on. Okay. This is a question I have for you. I know you like your YouTube. Have you seen James Corden's karaoke carpool?
I have some of them, yeah.
Because it seems to be everywhere. I've watched one, I think, but besides that, I haven't really been interested. And I think I watched one with Adele. But it just seems to be on all my playlists, all my suggestion lists. It's got into the newspaper. Ben, what's your opinion on it?
I've only watched. I watched 2, which had Justin Bieber in it. I had one with a rock band. I can't remember what names are.
I just think of the game rock band when you say rock band.
I can't remember the 4th one, but they're quite funny, quite good.
The Adele.
Because he doesn't just go driving around with the karaoke; he'll stop off somewhere as well.
The premise being that he just sings with celebrities.
Yeah, there was like one of the Justin Bieber ones. They actually stopped off at a shop, went inside and got changed and completely. James Gordon gave Justin his sort of dress code, and Justin did the same to him, and it was hilarious. It was very funny.
I may check a few more out later then.
I watched the Conan show as well. Is it Conan?
I was about to say that I highly recommend.
He did one as well.
The Conan remotes are the funniest thing.
Ice Cube was funny.
When they go, you've seen the one where it's the driving instructor.
Yeah.
And they get high at the end.
That was brilliant. I think
that
it's
is a
driving
great
instructor.
remote.
The taxi one where you can call someone up.
Uber.
Someone can pick you up. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Okay. This is an article I read the other day, and this annoys me. Okay. Let me read this to you. And I wish we was recording this because I'd just love to see your expression to this. Okay. Basically, a couple are trying to find their lost wedding photo album from 1965.
Why does that annoy you?
Because I don't get to go, in 1967, when I was 1 year old, can I please have my first baby t-shirt? I don't get to go back and get that. So I just don't see why these guys get to...
Well, the first thing is you don't lose it. You keep hold of it.
Exactly, it's been...
The second thing, if they want to waste their time looking for an album, they've
like
lost
40 odd
God
years.
knows how many 40 odd years. So be it.
It'd be gone, won't it? Well,
Probably
according
You'd be
to...
surprised what you'll find in someone else's attic.
According to all the authorities who are trying to help, track the album down, because apparently, I think the authorities who are trying to help track the album down are more interested in the historical value of it, because it was a time 1965 was a time and place where the Beatles were topping the charts. There's a lot of there's a lot of history happening. So I think that's why historians are interested in it. But at the same time, it just annoys me, if you know what I mean, because I don't get to.
But if they put up a photo, if they've actually got a photo of the album somehow.
Ben, in 2000, I had this really cool balloon I won at a fair. Right, I let that balloon go. That balloon went into the atmosphere. I don't see.
You suggested to go and try and get it.
I don't see a manhunt trying to get my frigging balloon. moving on. Right.
Unbelievable.
Right, so they're using, this is the UK military. They're trying to catch up the US, and they're using headsets with shock tactics. So basically, you put the headset on, it sends electrical pulses to the brain via some rubber pads. The motor cortex simulator, I'm just pointing around my brain, I don't know what the motor cortex is. This can improve mental and physical performance. So, the thing that intrigued me about this is, in the Vietnam War, they used steroids to help them fight, and now in 2016 we have headsets which motorise our brain cortex, making us, fight stronger.
That just sounds hilarious.
So what do you think to all this?
Well, you could be like having a phone call, like, so yeah, John, you had a good day. Oh wait, let me just put you on hold. Die you! No, it's like.
I don't think they're taking phone calls and.
That's what a headset does. Why?
No, but this headset like vibrates to keep you mentally going.
Vibrates?
Yeah, it vibrates your cortex. So like when you get a massage on your cortex. Ben's looking at me like I just said the worst thing ever. What's going through that mind?
For some reason, I just imagine someone aiming a gun at some guy while his head's vibrating.
His head's not gonna be vibrating. It just sends it's like pulsing to his brain to keep him awake.
It's like pulse. What happens if he's like aiming the gun and he goes, ah!
Right, so you're quite tired now, alright?
Tires, coffee.
Right, what if I was just throw the rest of my coffee in your face? Right.
I would get up and slap you.
Exactly, because
I'm in a nice suit.
Exactly, so this is sort of what the headset's doing. It's sort of making the soldier, fight stronger, according to this article. Ben says no.
No. Let's get a jet. Blow them all up.
Yeah, but nobody can fly jets. Right. Oh yes. Ben, I love how Ben is pointing out things.
Well, they do stand out. Giant pink sticky notes.
I've got some sticky notes.
Something and you miss it.
I went through the newspaper last night. Wrote some sticky notes. So to the listener, Ben, you just ruined the magic because it would sound really professional how you turn a page and instantly start talking about the article. Right.
You need to have reminders, don't you? Because you just woke up.
I need to have reminders because I've just woken up. Right. This is the most chilled out podcast. Can I just say, me and Ben have podcasted in the past. We did a sort of like a film talk show, but this is the most chilled out. We've just woken up, we've got coffee. We're going through the newspaper.
I'm going to faceplant the desk in a minute because this coffee's putting me to sleep.
Ben's getting tired. I don't have any Red Bull about, I'm sorry. Right.
Don't drink it.
The reason why...
Caffeine puts me to sleep.
Thanks for Ben pointing this out. I posted out this picture is because I think this picture is incredible. This is what I would fill the newspaper with. Basically, a jackdaw removes irritating ticks and bugs from a young deer, perching precisely on its nose. The relationship is mutually beneficial because it also plucks velvet from the deer's growing antlers, which is used as its nest. And I think that is incredible. This is,
I just see it as something taking advantage of something else.
Exactly, that's why it's incredible. I mean, the newspapers are usually full of boring, mundane garbage, as you said earlier. Not those words. But this is an incredible picture. There's a,
You see, if that was human behaviour, that was human picture of someone pecking at someone else's face and taking something off them, I think it'd be classed as assault and robbery. So I don't know why you're liking this picture.
You're looking way too deep into it because this is nature. This is incredible. This is two animals who've come together, completely different species. You've got a bird and a frigging deer.
No, he's invaded his personal space to nick something.
It's helping. It's getting rid of the ticks, and also using its the fur for its nest. Don't you think this is incredible?
That's like me going up to you with like hair clippers, shaving your hair off, and then pulling it on my face for a beard.
Well, yeah, exactly. But because of the society we live in, and because of because
of human race,
because we're kind of out of caveman times now, that would be dawned as maybe inappropriate. But this is wildlife doing incredible things. Ben's giving me the word. I can't believe you don't think it's incredible. I thought you'd like this because you like
the
nature.
picture's incredible,
right?
Not the situation.
Why?
It's just I don't understand how that's incredible.
Because
It's funny how the bird has landed on this random deer's head without scaring the deer, starts eating other ticks and nicking something for its nest. But other than that, it's not a relationship. It's not a bonding.
Fine, we'll move on to obesity then.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, I haven't actually read this article, but it's basically saying we need heavy weapons to win the obesity war. Which basically means this guy, I believe David, I'm not going to stitch anybody up, but David Aron Peter believes we should actually start banning food. So it's not enough to fiddle about with food labelling and distant sugar tax. Bans may be essential.
Hang on, just with what you said, you're saying this guy's come up with the idea that if we quickly buy all the food and not allow fat people to buy food,
He's basically
it's going to
saying,
tackle obesity.
well, no, right. We're I mean, I've got a few pounds.
I've got a few extra pounds.
Ben's got a few extra pounds. So this doesn't really cater to us. This is catering to obese people. Maybe if you are obese, then maybe there needs to be some drastic measures. I don't know.
I think personally they need a good slap and a Chinese.
But it's not that easy, is
it? Salad.
Have you seen the
I have seen
the man who ate himself to death? It's like a 45-minute documentary.
I watched one recently. It was a woman. She was £600. I think it was £600. I'd be wrong. And she kept saying, "I want to lose weight because of my son," and the son was almost there as well. And he literally sits in the corner all day, doesn't have a social life, just so he can attend to her and give her food.
Exactly.
When
Do you think these guys need like psychological help, or do you think they should just be?
It's called self-control.
Do you think it's survival of the fittest? You should ban the foods for them. Like
No,
obese people should be allowed to.
That's like trying
Right,
to
so
force
imagine-
someone to starve.
imagine-
It's not.
An obese person walks into McDonald's. The cashier says, "No, I'm not serving you."
Everyone has a right to eat.
Oh yeah, it
But
obviously
like I
is.
said, it's called self-control.
But this
woman kept saying she wanted to lose weight for her son, to help the son out so he can have more of a life
yeah.
and not attend to her needs all
Was
the
it
time.
was this
every time
was it on Loose Women?
No, it wasn't on Loose Women. It was a proper documentary, and the woman could not be bothered. And I say could not be bothered because you could see even the doctor said she couldn't be bothered to get up and do a bit of exercise every day. She had a major stomach operation, a gastric band,
Yeah.
to basically obviously limit what she can eat and how much food she can lose, weight she can lose, and when she needed to get up for a walk to not only stop blood clots but to also make her lose weight and get into that habit, she couldn't be bothered. She just kept using
Exactly.
excuses.
Do you think it's like a psychological problem? Do you think? Because obviously,
It's psychological.
I know
in
how
a way.
hard it is to lose a few pounds, if you know what I mean. So I can imagine how hard it would be to lose a lot.
Yeah,
of
but that's
pounds.
because you're not. That's because you're not obese. When you're obese, for some reason I don't know how it works, but when you're obese, you actually lose weight faster than you do when you're low on weight.
What do you mean?
If you're overweight
Right.
by £600 and you start getting up and walking, not only will it be incredibly painful, but you actually lose weight quicker.
No.
You lose weight quicker.
Why?
I've noticed that.
Why?
I don't know. It's as if it's not like it's the same fat.
You're
a
making
lot,
this up
lot.
again. You've
No,
read this.
I'm
You've
not.
read this off the
No,
Spirits website.
No. It's just what I've seen. If you do loads of if you never do exercise, like ever, you're just constantly in bed every day and you're overweight, and then suddenly you start
My
getting
childhood.
up and just simply moving your legs, that's a lot of exercise for you. So that's a lot for you that's a lot of hard work if you've never walked before, basically.
I love how we're
So you
talking more
actually
about
lose-
obesity than the freaking deer.
Because it's interesting, you see.
Carry on.
You seem to lose weight a lot quicker because you're not used to doing a simple thing of walking. Because you and me are used to walking, it's not much effort for us. But if you've laid in bed all your life and
Well, yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
You're huge,
Obviously,
basically.
if you're pretty big, it's going to be difficult to walk.
Mm.
But what I'm trying to get at, do you think it's more a psychological problem? Do you think these
it's
people?
psychological bone idleness and self-control.
Because that's because it's like, how can I explain it? Right. I've been trying to lose quite a bit of weight this year. Okay, to get to a nice slim size to play football. Right. I'll be sat in the car outside McDonald's, and I'll be doing really well. I'll be thinking, if it's going really well, so I'll just think to myself, I'll have McDonald's. Now I get that's not as severe as say somebody who's obese, and I'll go in and get at McDonald's, and to be honest, I don't even like fast food, but it's sort of comforting, isn't it? And
It's horrible when you have a clingy obsession kind of thing with food.
like KFC for me.
I have had it recently with sweets.
Yeah.
There's been not much
Chocolate for me.
food wise, and then when there's food, as in sweets, like a chocolate bar or a biscuit or I don't know, a yogurt,
Jammy Dodger.
or a good old jammy Dodger.
Are
You can't help be attracted to it like a
dunk your
female,
biscuits?
and you eat it.
Do you dunk your biscuits?
Yes, I do. Dunk
No.
my biscuits. If I see a packet of Bourbons, that's it. I walk past the lettuce
You're a
and the
50-year-old
banana,
man.
and I go, I'm a 50-year-old man.
Dunking biscuits.
I go for the Bourbons. It's automatic for most people.
Bob's alright.
But yeah, it's a mixture of psychological. It's confidence most of the time.
It's comforting, isn't it?
Confidence.
It's like I said, if I've been
Confidence to actually do it. It's the pressure you get put on by people.
exactly.
People put it on for you to lose weight.
If I've been at the gym for 4 hours, let's just say, Ben's looking at me like, yeah, right. Staggered, Ben. I'm not like it's not like it's 4 hours of like running. It's staggered. I'll maybe go get some water.
You'll go in there, lift up a weight once, put it down, sit there for 2 hours, sort of get your breath back, and then fill up again.
I go sit in the locker room for half an hour, and then I maybe have a few showers, and I get like a drink, and then I watch a bit of TV, and then the guy's like, you're supposed to be on the rowing machine watching the TV, not stood at the side of the rowing machine watching the TV. And I'd be like, oh yeah, damn.
Are you the sort of observer? You just sort of sit there watching someone
jogging
on the thing and like, so okay, that's how you do it.
I sort of go to the gym, right? I sort of breathe in, so it makes it like I've got like a quite flat chest, right? I walk past all like the bodybuilders, like, yeah, I'm amongst you guys, I'm amongst the lion's den. I sort of go and lift the weight up, and I realise it's a little bit too heavy for me, and then I'll pretend that I'm like this technician. So I'll do like 15 pull-ups, right? And I'll be absolutely knackered. I'll put the weight down, and all the big bodybuilders be looking at me like, 15, is that it? But I play it off as like I'm this technician.
I can actually imagine you going up to a really heavy weight, and you sort of go to lift it, realise it's too heavy, and you sort of stroke it as if to say,
that's what I do.
That's quite a heavy weight. At least that's working properly, and then walk off.
Exactly, that's what I sort of do. I sort of play everything off. So there's this machine which practices your ab crunches, and it makes you feel really.
You see, the simple reason I don't go to the gym is embarrassment. If I go to the gym and can't lift a weight,
because I sort of got past that when I saw this. This is another thing what I saw, which I thought was amazing. There was a person who didn't have any legs, in a wheelchair, doing pull-ups, and I thought it was an incredible sight.
I have full respect for those types.
Exactly, what I mean. So if people like that,
it's people like that. Why it annoys me when you get obese people who can't be bothered to move, because they have the ability to change themselves and walk again. But there's someone in a wheelchair who has no legs.
It's incredible.
They can't do it, but yet they'll use their arms.
And that's why I find it incredible.
They're incredibly inspirational people. The people who've lost a limb.
Which is what we're going to get to in a bit, because I've got an interesting article about something like that.
It's psychological is overweight when been overweight, it's awkward to get away from food, but it's self-control. You need to really push yourself.
So you don't think it should be banned?
Other times it's just bone idleness. You just want the attention.
But what about? I know it'd be really hard to ban food because you won't be able to monitor it properly.
You can't ban food. That's against human rights.
No, but I mean ban certain types of food.
You can do, yeah,
like
possibly.
You know. Well, there's this really famous Ricky Gervais joke where basically there's a small door to get into the supermarket, so you have to lose weight to get into the supermarket, but then the fat people then eat all the food and then they get fat again and then they can't get through the door to get out. But anyway,
they should actually have that type of imprisonment for overweight people. You have to fit through the door, eat as much as you want. If you eat too much, you ain't getting back out. So you have to lose weight to get out.
Right. This is basically a poster campaign. We'll just comment on this because it's an easy answer. A poster campaign has been launched to stop attacks on women at pools. Now I like to go.
Say that again.
A poster campaign has been launched to stop attacks on women at pools. Let me show you the poster. All right. Basically, it's a hand crossed out, reaching for a girl's buttocks.
It could be a lifeguard.
Right. It could be a lifeguard.
I'm sorry I touched your arse, madam, but I believe
that makes no difference.
You were drowning.
Ben. So this is.
You know what people are like these days?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying to say. But
if you bumped into someone in town and accidentally touched their boob or their handbag,
so you're playing the other way. You're saying
I'm saying misunderstanding.
You're saying that we were maybe after attention, maybe.
A bit, yes, but also misunderstanding someone.
Misunderstanding something.
So you walk into someone in town and accidentally touch their handbag, they assume you're going to steal something.
Lead me onto a story. When I went out with my friend, no, I wasn't actually out with him, but the story is one of my good friends was out. He got a bit drunk, and he was running around the street flexing his muscles. Okay, as you do, right? And he accidentally punched a girl in the boob. Okay, Ben's shrivelling up at the feel of that. And he got into quite a lot of stick for it. But I know the guy. He's not a mushes guy. He's not that kind of guy. If you know what I mean. I'm not going to name drop. I'll tell you what. I'll whisper across who it is. How can I do this without the audio picking it up?
Mime it.
Right. Ben's put his hand over his head. Ben knows who this guy is. Right. Don't mention his name.
Why does that not surprise me? I'm sorry.
Right. Anyway.
Jesus.
So yeah, basically, I like to go swimming every Friday. It's Friday today. I'm not swimming, Ben. Why is that? Because I'm with you.
Because you just got up.
I've just got up. I like to go early in the morning though when it's quiet. And I tell you what, this is side note again. I like to do lengths up and down the pool. You know, keep my cardio going. The old people have me. Okay. The old people are ridiculous at lengths. They just don't stop. They just go around in circles. They'll do about 30 lengths to my 2.
Do you know why?
Go on.
Because they've got like little propellers on their feet what you can't see.
I'm sure that's the reason why.
They're the same elderly people who take 4 hours to cross the road. You feel really sorry for them. They're really slow.
Oh, so they haven't actually done 30 lengths, they're just doing it really slow.
You have to help them across the road. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, oh, thank you, dear.
No, but
and yet you go swimming, they go...
I'll do 2 lengths and I'll be absolutely done. Right? I'll be out the side.
Yeah, but how often do you do exercise?
A lot. I do. Ben's looking at me like...
You get up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, Ben. I averagely go for 3 runs a day, right? One about 10 a.m. Ben's looking at me like...
We're not talking about dreams, Adam. Adam.
You've changed the name for me.
We're not talking about Aaron. We're not talking about dreams. We're talking about real exercise. You go for runs. I go for your football. That's the thing I can say I've got evidence for.
I play quite a bit of football. I like running. I go to the gym now and again, and I like going swimming. So I like to think I'm kind of...
Swimming is a good exercise.
It works all the muscles out. But that's what I'm saying. I'll do about 2 lengths and I'll be done. These guys are doing 30 lengths. Some of them...
2 lengths?
Yeah, I do 2 lengths and I'm...
How long's the swimming pool?
It's the dome. So it's for the people who don't know what the dome is, just quickly explain to them. How would you sum up the dome?
How would I describe it?
Yeah.
Dig a load of holes and spill a glass of water. I think that would be...
That's some sort of swimming pool. Basically, the dome is a landmark, we'll say, in Doncaster.
It's a death machine when you get outside. Those currents are horrible.
When was the last time you went swimming?
Last time I went swimming was... God knows how many months ago, but we went to the dome. That was the last place we went, and I got stuck in the current of the
it is horrible.
rapids.
Basically, it's like
everything's fine, nice and calm. As soon as you get to the bit where the current goes left and it's at the entrance, there's sort of a triangle, sort of Bermuda area
where people go missing.
You can't, where you stand and the current catches your feet, you go under. And then you try and go back towards the exit. It is fun. Get the pull,
but what you can't move. Basically, we're talking about these rapids.
If you're not a strong swimmer like me, you get stuck in that area.
But the thing I hate about it is when there's like 100 people inside it, and everyone's got like sweaty bodies, and everyone's like pressed against each other. It's horrible, isn't it? And then you get some guys toe in your face. It's just like. It's just no into it though. It's just like the most disturbing. It puts you off your McDonald's after.
There was a big guy, a big chap he was, and he looked like Bigfoot. Yeah. I mean, he had hair all over his back.
Oh god.
I just wanted to stay clear of him. Got to the rapids, thanks to the current, face plant the back.
Yeah.
I got face full of. I don't know, but it felt like I'd just jumped into a bush.
Egyptian.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I look like, when you're trying to grab hold of that side and you're stuck in that current, it looks like you're trying to survive the Titanic. Help me! It's horrible.
Anyway, back to this poster campaign. It's basically, as I was trying to get, women do go, obviously women do go swimming. It's usually mums when I go with the kids. And yeah, they've got the bikinis
Yeah, but they only turn up to make sure the kids don't drown.
They've got the bikinis and they're looking good. And there's obviously lots of stories that break where guys feel them up or whatever. And this campaign is basically just a poster of a woman and a hand.
Is it misunderstanding, or is it actual?
Well, it could be both.
Cases of where guys approached them with a mysterious grin and a hand out.
Well, according to the article, it's a problem at swimming pools that guys will be feeling up inappropriately, and this post is going to apparently stop that, which it won't, because this post is saying don't pee in the pool, but people still pee in the pool.
It also says don't jump in, but you always see little kids like, oops, I slipped.
Yeah, you see someone jumping in, you see the whistle go straight away, and the kid gets out, he's like, oh sorry, I didn't.
Don't swim on the back of someone else. You might as well say don't have sex in the pool.
Well, people do,
because
people still do.
You always see, especially under the waterfall at the dome. You
see a couple making out, don't you?
There's always someone on top of someone else. Because I went in there, it's like, oh, I wonder what it's like in here. I walked straight back out because there's a guy and she was pretty nice. The guy who looked like an ape. He was making out with her. I was like, I mean, really? Do you have to do it here?
Yeah,
and they sort of look at me and say, we don't care what you think. And then that's it.
Well, it's obviously the thrill of it, but it's obviously completely wrong. You shouldn't do it in a public place. And
it's respect for the kids.
Yeah,
it's not adults put up with it.
So men don't go touching women up in swimming pools. Have respect.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be fair. It really wouldn't surprise me.
It's not.
It'd be cinemas next.
The problem is, I just don't think posters. I just don't think you can stop it.
Posters cannot have. Do you know what you should do? Have a lifeguard with a shotgun. That'll stop them from doing it.
Okay. This is something that interests me because I don't know if you do know, but I'm quite a fan of sharks.
Cool sharks.
Basically, in Australia, because it's getting up to surfing season, under the water, they're fitting sensors that pick up large sharks. And the idea is
to kill the shark.
But the only problem is, kill the sharks. The only problem is, the sharks don't. It's only sharks they've caught before, if you know what I mean. So they've actually had to catch the shark for the sensors to pick it up. So if it's a complete new shark, the sensor won't pick it up. But do you think this is
pointless?
Yeah. Well, you got obviously the surfing community is huge in Australia, but you're still going into their territory, aren't you? And if a shark bites you,
the land is for humans.
Exactly.
The air isn't for humans. The water isn't for humans. We belong in land. When it's like me coming into your house and completely redecorating it.
Which is what I'm halfway through doing.
Yeah, but me redecorating it without anyone's permission. It's
Side
exactly the same with people going into water. That's sharks' territory.
What do you think of my colour of the wall behind? The one wall I've managed to paint behind you. What do you think?
Who's that?
It's called...
Coffee.
It does look quite coffee-ish, doesn't it? But it is coffee-ish. But it's called Muddy Puddle.
Muddy Puddle?
Yeah. I quite like it. It's quite.
Did
soothing.
You paint that?
Yeah. I lie a little bit. I didn't do the sides. My mum did the sides. I painted the rest.
Yeah, I can't paint. Sharks. I think they're just misunderstood all the time. You're in their territory. You go on a surfboard.
Ben's looking at
I've just been looking at it. That's cool. You go on a surfboard. You look like a seal to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
It's the same as a large shark attacking a boat.
Yeah.
It looks like a seal.
Like Jaws.
Yeah, you could say that. If you know what I mean, it's
yeah, of course, I agree.
If something attacks a seal, if a shark wants to eat a seal, it's going to look for anything that looks like a seal. So if it sees someone surfing, it does definitely look like a seal. They're going to go for it. They're going to have a good bite and then realise that they're wrong and spit it back out.
But what this article's getting at is
you can't stop a shark, and
you can't stop the surfers, and you can't stop the shark. So they're trying to put sensors up.
Yeah, but what are they going to do when the shark comes?
They get out of the water or move away from that location.
Are they? With humans? More like kill it.
Not in Australia.
Sharks are endangered, I believe.
Some.
Like great whites, for example. I think they're endangered, aren't they?
In certain parts.
But it's still not going to stop someone from attacking it if they think it's going to attack someone else.
But it is.
This is just a recipe for disaster. I bet you in about. Is it recent, isn't it? So it's coming into summer now.
Yeah.
I bet in about. Within the next 4 or 5 months, I bet there'd be a few shark attacks and deaths. Because those sensors didn't work. And I bet poor innocent sharks will end up getting killed because they've mistaken a swimmer, which should have thought twice about where he decided to go swimming. He's going to get eaten.
I agree.
Pointless, you can't stop a shark.
This next article is something what reminds me of something you would read on one of your creative websites.
Uh-oh.
But it kind of made me chuckle. Basically, a treasure hunter died chasing a hoax. So, a grandfather was hunting for a chest of golden coins and antique jewels that is thought to be hidden in the Rocky Mountains. He has set out on a raft and his dog. It's like something out of a novel. Mr. Fenn, an antique dealer from Santa Fe, claimed that he had placed €2 million dollars worth of gold jewellery in an antique treasure chest that he hid in the mountains in 2010. It was on public land, he said, and anyone could find it and they could unravel the cryptic clues contained in the poem he published in the memoir The Thrill of the Chase. So a guy called Mr. Fenn has made a real life treasure quest, and this guy has lost his life trying to find it. Now,
How did he lose his life?
Well, all that's been found is the remains. Because basically, apparently, it's at an altitude of 5,000 foot, and his wife, the guy who died, who's just been found dead. His wife says this, and this is, you can just tell the journalist twisting her words. She thought he had lost his life to a hoax. Well, she's the worst wife ever then, because if I'm sorry,
yeah,
but,
she is, to be fair.
But if your man stands up and goes, "I'm going to find $2 million worth of treasure."
Yeah, but you don't just wake up and say that, though, do you?
Of course
You'd say years after years after years, I'm trying to find this treasure. I know it's there. I'm figuring out the clues. I'm going to go one day. And then one day you go.
There's quite a few wealthy people around us, right? Just imagine if one of those guys said, or women, said, we planted a treasure chest, mile radius, work this poem out. What we would do, we'd have everybody around trying to, well, we wouldn't, because we'll keep it just us two, so we get more treasure. But we would be pulling all-nighters, we'll be cracking this poem, and we'll be going to find that treasure. And then you can tell us where the journalists are just twisting the words to get a better story or get a better quote. You know, she thought he had lost his life to a hoax. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. And she also goes on to say there's no treasure, it's not real. And, you know, obviously she's grieving, but to me it's just a bit...
Sounds like the ultimate nightmare for a wife, to be fair.
Of course, obviously.
It's but like, I want to do this, it's not real, it's not real, I don't believe you. Yeah, but I've got a lot of passion for this, I don't care.
the guy who set Quest up claims he's very, very sorry for...
It just says he's died, it doesn't say how he's died.
No, he just found his remains. It's one of those stories where there isn't really answers, it's sort of half for it. You know, it's sort of grasping at straws. But I just find it kind of amusing. Do
you know what's funny? I bet the wife actually said that for a reason, because she's off up next.
She wants to... Or
there's no treasure up there, don't worry people, you don't have to go up there, because I'm off up there tomorrow.
Major twist, Mr. Fenn and his wife set it up so they could both get together and kill the husband off. No, but my point is, you know...
Maybe they all fake their deaths just so they can have a brilliant life.
I feel sorry for the guy. I think his wife should be more supportive.
Yeah, it's not like, I can't believe I lost my husband. It's like, it wasn't real, alright, he's dead, oh well.
His husband took the dog with him as well, to go find his treasure.
Did the dog survive?
I don't know, just
missing. Turn to page 69, I bet there's a missing dogs poster.
But yeah, I just thought it was kind of amusing.
What horrible wives. That's horrible. Like, I can't believe I've lost my loving husband and my dog. They just know that The entire story was fake and he's dead.
Exactly.
Oh well.
Exactly. You
Back
think,
to cheating.
You think she would kind of like protect his integrity and just like, you know, say.
Back to cheating.
So that being that. Not even one newspaper.
There's another newspaper there.
There isn't much in that one actually.
Fake tan may give you wrinkles.
Well, don't ruin the next topic. I think this is about it for this paper. Look how it's got dead air. We'll never leave dead air for the viewers because it's interesting. And you can just hear me shuffling through a newspaper. Yep, we're done. Unless you want to go for sport.
Again.
Would you like to go for sport?
No. Go on, just do one.
Alright.
You could just do one if you wanted to.
You want to do one? You want to do one sport?
Just one.
Right, I'm going to direct a sport question at Ben Galvin. Would you say you're a sport fan, Ben?
That's the right questions, Aaron.
Try to play bad cop. Right. I can't ask you a sport question.
Just ask me one.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
With a simple answer.
I'll tell you what, I'll work away into it, so it actually is a form of question. A question. Right. You know how...
Ask me a question, I'm not interested in the story.
Right, you know how there's a lot of money in football now, and players are transferred to clubs for a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester City have basically landed Stones, who's a really good defender, for 50 million. What do you think of that?
Ridiculous. I think she'll go get a decent job. And footballers get paid ridiculous amounts.
No, we're right. We all agree that footballers get paid way too much. There's way too much money in the game. You know, the real people, the doctors, and the people who are saving lives should be
soldiers.
Should be on this wage. We all know that. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in. 50 million.
Somehow kicking a ball into net is saving the country. Shooting someone, taking
well,
a life and having
it's a different kind
psychological disturbance.
It's a different type of saving the country because football obviously brings a lot of joy to people. And 50 million...
For all I see, it causes a lot of shit.
50 million for a defender is interesting to me just because... This is when I'm going to talk football for like 2 minutes. Ben's looking at me like 1 minute. Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds, okay. Chelsea paid £50 million for a striker, okay? That striker didn't do too well, arguably. And now, City are paying £50 for a defender. So, what's interesting to me is, obviously, they're paying for age and class. What's interesting to me is now, you can pay the same amount of money for strikers, who are supposed to be the big stars of the club, as defenders. So, it's sort of interesting to me that...
If you say so. 30 seconds are up.
Right, I tried to get you 30 seconds. Right, that's sport done. Right, on to the next newspaper. Now, this newspaper...
What's the top thing?
It's
£5 offer at Lidl.
Well, no. I don't want to read the actual name of the papers out, because I don't want to libel any paper. Because I get journalists... I get what it's like to, you know, be a journalist and get stories and, you know...
£5 offer
But it's a Daily Mail. But...
So, you know, for £5 offer at Lidl, I can go get a week shopping.
Right. So basically, obviously they cram the newspaper full of stuff trying to get your attention, and to me it does the complete opposite. I don't know about you, Ben, but this paper starts off front page: fake tan may give you wrinkles.
Age gives you wrinkles.
Well, the point is,
fake tan gives you cancer.
Tan beds are just they're clearly not the best thing for the human body, and we're in 2016.
You are such a hypocrite.
Why?
Because I bet you do them.
I
bet you go out there and get suntan bed thingy. Rub cream all over, make yourself look coloured.
Why? Because I got a bit of a tan.
I don't know, but for some reason I just have a horrible feeling that you do that.
What? It's like a cocktail.
It's like, oh look, I got £50 to spare. Off to the tan bed I go.
It's the tan saloon. No,
come back looking like some sort of Dorito.
Get my nails done. No, I like sunbathe. I enjoy sunbathing.
Sunbathe. This is Britain, mate.
Where's the sun? We had,
if you see the sun, you let me know.
we had a nice week last week.
The sun is more anomalous than Bigfoot.
Hey, I'm still in my shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, that's because you just got up.
Right. So basically, what I'm trying to get, the reason why I want to mention this is because we're still in 2016 and we're still talking about sunbeds, doing this, doing that. and it's just getting on my nerves. And it's like the cats in the washing machines.
I've never seen so much contradictory.
Why?
When it comes to sunbeds.
Why?
When you're in a science lesson at school, they say don't constantly look at the UV light because it might give you cancer. Your eyes might fall out of your head.
Nixie.
That's what a teacher would say to you if you looked at a UV light. What do they do? Go and make a bed full of them.
Well,
yeah, just go and lay on that. You'd be absolutely fine.
Obviously, it's health. It's like trying to cut it's cutting corners, isn't it? You want you know the risk of a sunbed, but you want to get a nice tan. So it's sort of cutting corners.
It's laziness.
Maybe. Well,
then again, we're in Britain, so we kind of don't have sun, so they don't
well,
really.
People like to make themselves look really nice.
Just go sit out in the overcast. You'll get as much UV.
Anyway,
come on, John, it's raining.
This is the article I've been looking. This is the article I've been looking most forward to. It sort of relates to what we were talking about earlier a little bit. Basically, the Alton Towers victim, the girl who lost her legs, who lost her leg because she had to have 3 amputations.
3.
Basically, she wants to show her confidence that she still finds herself attractive, even though she lost a leg. So she took a picture in a photo shoot of her in. Ben's looking over. Ben's just raised his eyebrows. he likes what he sees. Exactly. This is my point, right? So this woman just lost a leg in the Alton Towers disaster, which is a horrific event, and she's now doing a photo shoot in racy clothes, and basically, internet. The trolls, quotation mark, are milking it, saying that she's milking it, if you know what I mean. So, do you think this is an attention stunt, or do you like me think this is incredible that a woman who lost a leg?
I think it's incredible that she still has the confidence to walk around like that.
Yeah.
And sort of show off her body in the way, but at the same time, if I'm bold to say, you are milking the cow.
But what if she's like a real, symbol for people who have lost...
She probably is, that's what I mean, that's the good thing about it. But at the same time, you kind of just go on about your life. You've lost your leg, you get on with it, and you go on about your life. You do obviously have to put up with a lot of psychological
imagine
stuff.
living with it all night. You just want to get out there and just show the people that you're still comfortable.
Yeah, but you do that for about a week or 2. You don't keep going on about it. I mean, when was that? Beginning of the year?
This was in yesterday's news.
No, I mean, it was the beginning of the year when she lost a leg, isn't it?
I'm not sure the exact date, but I think
it was the beginning of the year when that accident.
Well, she quotes saying, I
have full respect for her, and obviously Alton Towers were not better for making sure the roller coaster wasn't safe.
Well, no, she quotes saying, I never thought I'd feel sexy again, which I think is kind of inspiring because if our face was badly burnt in a sort of like a Marvel style horrific event, we just walk outside now and it's like
a
toxic truck full of waste.
Toxic truck.
I'm getting to dead.
Again, it's missing.
Just and we end up getting badly chemically burned. We would lose our confidence as, and this girl who's lost a leg is saying no to all that. I'm gonna prove I still feel sexy.
Yeah, but I mean, look at all the soldiers who've lost a limb. They don't all come out of the blue and say, I'm a role model. They are, obviously.
This is a 21-year-old girl who should be in university now and should be having...
There are 17-year-old lads and girls who...
But this is a complete accident. This was a girl who went out to have a good time and then this horrific thing happened to
her. You'd get more honour out of being blown up than you would accident.
No, because it's not her fault, is it?
No, it's not. But it's also not their fault that they've got a grenade thrown at them.
But they know the risks.
Yeah, they know the risks.
It's
the same with going on a roller coaster. You know you're going to either faint or you're going to throw up. It's the same risk.
No, but you go on a roller coaster to have fun with your friends, and this horrific thing happened to her. And
well, I have full respect for the lass, but the girl, the woman, but you can't just keep milking.
But she's not. She's showing young girls,
I'm not against it, but when you keep going on about it,
fair enough.
It's
right. We'll move on.
Then again, you gotta kind of think about it. If you've never been in the limelight before, in the spotlight, of attention or anything like that, or money or press or anything like that, you've never been in it. You're obviously just going to sort of go crazy when it's your turn to shine. If that makes sense. Even if you can't help losing your leg, as soon as you're in the spotlight, it's hard to get out of it.
I think it's different now. I think
It's like becoming an actor and then
don't think
going back down to work at Domino's.
because you spend all your money on hookers and cocaine. But
Well, you're so used to the attention.
no, but
It's like being a millionaire and then having £1
I don't think
in
you
the
can
bank.
compare soldiers to this girl, if you know, because this girl is, you know, is just, you know, like I said, trying to enjoy her life. She should be, you know, and yes, she's got a nice settlement for it, and you know, but I don't think she's milking it at all.
If she would be milking it if she still goes on about this after Christmas.
So it's all right. So if it's like
If she popped up in the newspaper next year with the same things that I feel sexy or something else, it really is just pushing it.
well, we may have this conversation again.
It's like trying to run after the spotlight once it's already passed.
Right, let's move on to something a bit more
A
soft,
T-Rex.
something a bit more, you know. Ben can see a dinosaur. Ben's happy.
It's cool.
Ben's eyes are.
What
are
is
full
it? Is it one of the dinosaurs that gone missing?
A skeleton dinosaur from a museum has
Comes
gone
up in
missing.
a Star Wars shot. Have you seen that?
Right, basically, museum dinosaurs are being wiped out by the sunlight. So this article is claiming that the sunlight through the roof of museums is not doing any. It's not
We're
being
in
helpful.
Britain, we don't have sunlight. What a waste of an article.
No, because sunlight doesn't mean it has to be like, you know, 20 degrees. It means light in general. It's wearing away at the bones. It's not doing the conditions.
Put curtains up then. You know what I mean? Why make a press thing about
You
it?
can't put curtains on the roof.
You can certainly block them out. Go up on the roof, put a big sheet over it. Oh well.
I didn't look at it like that. You could just put,
You know what I mean?
You
It's
could
like,
put a
what's the
sheet-
point?
you could just put a sheet over the roof.
If there's a problem, fix it. Don't just say, "Oh look, world, our statue is melting."
And I've got a picture of like a David Attenborough type with way too much time in his hands, complaining about the light coming through the roof. But
If your walls started crumbling right now, you're not going to go to BBC News and say, "Help, my walls collapsing. What do I do?" You're going to go get some plaster and fill it.
as the walls are crumbling,
If your wall
I'll
was
be gone.
crumbling,
I would leave this house.
no, I mean if you were drilling something and suddenly there's a giant hole in your chimney,
wall collapses and we see the neighbour.
and you see that's a bit crazy. That's when you do go to the news and say something. But I mean, you know what I mean? If you go and put up a picture, suddenly the front lot of plaster falls off. You're not going to go running to BBC News and saying, "Help, my house is collapsing."
No, I'm going to put.
You're going to go get some plaster and fill it, and then paint over it like a normal person. Same as them.
Ben, I don't know how to plaster, and you know, I'll have to watch YouTube tutorials do that. It'd be too much effort for me, so I would just leave the house and go. I'm going away for the weekend.
Yeah, and then they'll end up coming in the room and it's like, "Look at my house. Look, it's falling apart," and it'd be like a small little hole.
If the hole's that big, I'll just hang a picture over it.
You see, that's laziness level 102.
Right, let's talk about British lamb. That was a nice link I did there. You see, I just linked that straight in.
I didn't even hear you. I
We
was too
went-
busy.
We went from dinosaurs to now British lamb, as in the meat.
British
Basically,
lamb.
British Americans, they don't have British lamb due to the mad cow disease from
They
the
must probably
past.
grow it in a lab.
Basically, it's banned in the US, 27-year ban, because
British lamb.
it's banned in America because of a 27-year ban. Basically, this article is claiming that Americans may see British lamb on their menus again because they're thinking of, you know, lifting the ban.
Got all the lamb they've got. Why don't they go and make their own?
Because British lamb's nice. It's good for. Right, let me explain the whole story. Because Ben's looking
The way
at
it's
it
bred.
Right, do you know what the mad cow disease was?
Yes, I do know what it was. I was just trying to think what it actually
lots
is.
of
I've never really
countries were-
understood it.
Lots of countries were affected by it, etc., etc. Whatever you believe on the mad cow disease. And it was banned in the US, British lamb, for that reason, for 27 years. And now they just decided to lift the ban. Maybe.
Lamb. Mad cow disease. Lamb.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Americans been Americans. Just trying to start a war.
Right. Let's move on
See
from
what
that.
my point is?
Yeah. Press at a war.
Sorry, I've been a bit Russian then.
Yeah, we'll leave that. Right.
That's brilliant. That is.
Right. These articles always annoy me because I always feel really stupid when I read them. But this kid, who is 12, is teaching himself to speak Japanese. Okay.
Good on him.
Right. Listen to this. This is what he says. I have confidence in myself that I am a genius because you can only get into Mensa. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. If you get a high enough IQ. I am ready to win child genius to prove I am clever. Right, so obviously it is incredible, this kid. You know.
I can go on YouTube and get a guy and type in Chinese man says hi or Google Translator. Hi in Chinese. Repeat that word over and over again. I know how to say hello in Chinese.
This guy's 12.
5-year-olds know how to use the internet, Aaron.
Do they?
They're within that age now. I'm surprised babies haven't come out with an iPhone 6.
I don't really hang around kids, so I don't really know.
My brother knows more about technology, seems to be, than I do.
Well, because they're advanced with it, aren't they? But so you're saying that it's not really, but
there's not a genius about that.
He's learning...
If he said, I know what the universe now looks like without actually looking at it, yeah, that's a genius. There's another Einstein. But when you say, I know how to talk Japanese through...
Well, it always annoys me because it just feels like I'm not doing enough with my life, because when there's a 12-year-old kid learning Japanese...
Well, get on YouTube and start learning then.
I don't want to.
You know what I mean? That's all he's done. He's just researched how to say
But he's 12.
He can go out and go get a package
his mind's developed as ours, and he's learning Japanese.
I know how to speak a bit of French.
Go on.
Only petite.
Go on, then you've set yourself up now.
Only petite.
Is that it?
Bonjour.
Brilliant. So you know, 2 words.
Croissant. Escargot.
Croissant's not French.
Croissant. It is.
Yeah, it's just French food, but it's not. You can't say that's French. That's like going, oh, tapas. Now I can speak
just
Spanish.
Contradict yourself. It's French food, but you can't say that's French.
No, you know, no, you can't say tapas. Now I can speak Spanish. That's my point.
You can go on YouTube and learn how to speak a language. Use Google. In fact, no, don't use Google Translator. I had a German friend on Facebook, and I attempted to talk Japanese. Friend. Yeah, Japanese. German to him. I typed in Google Translator. Hello, how are you? He's into Predators like I am. He said, I like the Predator figure you've got.
By the way, can I just clear up for listeners? Predators means the science fiction, not actual like pedophiles.
Yeah. Or animals. I put this in Google Translator. He translated it. I thought it was perfect. Copied it all, pasted it into chat, sent it to him. Ha 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 ha. That's what I get in response. I'm like, what? Have you got that right? Turns out I said, hello, how are you? Do you like toilet paper? This, that and the other. He was absolutely in hysterics. Don't use Google Translator. It's not brilliant.
It doesn't work. I've noticed that. Right, on to more tragic news.
The
Crimson Shore. Basically, I can't remember where this is. I actually just think I don't think it actually gives the location. But basically, there's a whole cult of farmers who lead whales into shore and kill them. What? And in their country, it's not redeemed as bad. As you can see, there's crowds of spectators watching whales being hacked to death. So obviously, it's not in our society, because Trevor McDonald would not like that.
I think most ocean animals, including whales, were in danger.
The reason why I like this article, I'm linking this in with something I'm a big believer in. There's a documentary called Blackfish. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. I think it's one of the most incredible documentaries. It's basically exposing SeaWorld or is it SeaWorld? Sea Life? You can tell I didn't pay attention to the documentary.
Sea Flies? Are you on about the Sea Life Centre?
Yeah.
Or are you on about SeaWorld?
SeaWorld.
Orlando?
It's something to do with whales and dolphins and various other sea creatures. But basically, it's exposing the whales that they're mistreated. And it's a really interesting, scary, fascinating... It's probably one of the most great documentaries I've watched. I highly recommend it. But basically, that documentary is slash ticket prices at SeaWorld. That I think they've lost 10 million revenue so far because of that documentary. Because people are refusing to go and watch the whales. And in a new program, SeaWorld have decided to drop whales completely. This is the last year they've shown.
They killed them.
No, I'm guessing they're just releasing.
They're
They're just going to kill the whales. Like,
You'd be surprised.
they're
It's the same with horse racing.
they're in enough trouble as it is, and you know.
Do you know that?
What?
Horse racing, it's like that with horse racing.
Yeah.
The horse is no longer good.
Shoot, yeah, of course. If they do it live on the racecourse as well, sometimes.
That's when there's an injury.
Yeah.
If the horse isn't good, I mean, hasn't won the race.
They don't shoot
Hasn't
it.
won a load of races. That's true.
No, they don't shoot it, do they?
Yeah.
I thought they just got rid of it.
Some of them
Like
do.
how Simpsons,
It might look like an accident in a way.
they make it like an accident. Just
I'm
like...
serious. You know when they're on about this horse meat scandal?
Yeah.
There was a horse from. It was a famous horse. Back in many years ago. Listen.
I can feel it's going to get stupid.
It was caught on camera of the horse getting shot dead, skinned and killed. The horse meat. Because it had had its time.
Is that just one case or is that...
People don't care. As soon as they got their money, off they go. Bye-bye horse. They don't care about the horse, they're just there for the money.
But
They'll look after it while it's serving them good. But as soon as they're done with it... Not in all cases, obviously. You have a retirement horse and off they go and have a wonderful rest of their life. But some horses, depending on who the owner is, might secretly make it look like an accident and actually killed it.
And how they do that, like put like a banana peel on the floor, and then it slips in the banana peel, and then it breaks.
This is a four-legged animal you're talking about.
the cop comes around, right? He's got his notepad. there's a banana peel on the floor. There's a dead horse, right? He goes, "What's happened here then?" Like this, and then the guy goes,
It
you
slipped
can
and
clearly
broke
see it
his
split and
neck.
broke its neck on the banana peel." The copper goes, "That's believable," and then off he goes. We won't get the animal rights round. We'll just leave it at that. Right. So yeah, back to the whales. Watch Blackfish burn. It's one of the
Black
greatest.
fist.
Huh?
Black fist. Black fish.
Blackfish. You know I can't speak English properly. That's what I mean. I can never learn Japanese. I can't even speak English. Right. I was listening to myself on a recording the other day, and I sounded like I was drunk because I was sat back in my chair, right, with my like, you know when you like sit like you know
when you sit like me
it.
with a really bad back because
You know when you
the
like sit
chair's
with like your
like
neck
a
on your
wall.
chest. I was sat like that, so like the words were coming out like that, right? And I was just like, it was just awful. And I wonder why I ever put myself on record. But anyway, back to the whales. The whales that have been hacked to death. I said that really light, didn't I? I didn't say that with any emotion whatsoever. I just said back to the
So
whales.
basically, yes!
Back to the whales being hacked to death. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's obviously horrible, and obviously to them it's not.
They're meant to be endangered globally.
Look, there's a guy there, we can't see because you're horizontal from me, but like there's a guy there smiling. There's crowds of people watching. They're all having a good time, probably have a barbecue after. But it's obviously it's a completely different society to ours. And I'm a big whale fan, I love whales. And
All those people there just sort of standing like, yeah, what a wonderful idea.
it's a whole fox hunt over again. And those are pilot whales. For anybody.
People like that deserve to be stood in a line. The rest is Holocaust.
And the
business.
firing squad. Right, this is...
That was harsh. What I just said.
Ben's backing out of
Hang on a minute.
Tyler's comments. Go on, Ben, what have you seen? Ben's moving around the room.
I thought that was actually someone I knew. Never mind. With the same name as well.
Well,
Anyway, go on. What is it?
Right, basically, this is a discussion about breastfeeding.
Is this where you're going to say, do you think it's bad in public?
No, basically, women are posting pictures of them proudly breastfeeding their children.
I support it.
You support it?
Yeah, I've got breasts myself. you
Right,
see.
I would...
No,
I would half agree, but the thing is, like, look at this girl. She's got dreamy eyes. She's in full makeup. You know what I mean? You see what I'm trying to get at? Don't you think she's...
posing for it.
Yes, because...
For the attention.
Yeah.
Some of them, most of them, yeah, possibly. Possibly.
To me, that's actually seductive.
The rest...
Not that... Right, it's supposed to be like a you know, a big trend, big symbol, for breastfeeding. But don't you think you should just breastfeed in the comfort of your own house and...
What? While the kid needs feeding? Can't leave the baby to starve all day.
But there's probably breastfeeding changing rooms in most restaurants now where you can go and do things. I don't see why you have to do it in broad daylight in public.
If the woman had completely removed her...
Right, basically, me and Ben have just been talking for 45 minutes and we've come to the conclusion it wasn't recording. And we've been through breastfeeding, Ben's experience at Domino's Pizzas.
What's the difference between an open mind and a closed
mind? We've been through all the heavy topics, but unfortunately, we didn't record them. So, we're both busy guys, so now we're going to have to split and go our different ways. So we apologise about that. So it's now time to sign off, Ben. How are you going to do that?
Thank you for this voiceover session. It's going to be for a film.
We should have been 2 hours if it hadn't stopped recording, which is crazy.
We're talking. I got a numb arse, thank you.
We're talking.
Sitting here.
We're talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I can't even bear talking to you for 5 minutes. Never mind.
Cheers, Aaron.
Never mind 2 hours.
Thank you very much. Just remember who gets record on your camera.
So yeah, I've been Aron Thompson. I hope you've enjoyed this. This may be a special one-off podcast, just testing the format. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I'm hopefully going to put this up tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. Live long and prosper. And sorry for missing 45 minutes of me and Ben talking about ghosts. Adios.